In this video, I wanted to talk a bit about painting crowds of people. It's not something I do a ton of. A lot of my paintings are just sort of one person in portrait mode, but the painting I have on screen is one where I had 4 people kind of arranged in composition here, so I wanted to talk a little bit about that. So I always start with a middle tone and kind of middle value hue, a brownish mix, kind of build out the structure. It's kind of a thinner paint, sort of get the composition right. So that's obviously very important when you have multiple subjects, is arranging them in the right way. Composition is always important, of course, but I think when you have a bunch of people, it's even more important. Like, how do you want to structure this? Where do you want to position everybody? So part of that is the perspective, kind of like the planes of how you're kind of interspersing them. In the piece that I have on screen, I did an okay job of that. I think I got this situated the way I wanted to, but certainly I'm not super experienced at this, so it could have been better. Like, I could have had some more people in the background, or maybe push some of these subjects away from the foreground a little bit more, particularly the guy on the far left. I feel like I could have angled this a little bit better. Kind of a consideration is like planning this out. I've mentioned in a lot of videos I'm not a great planner. So another thing, you can see that now that I'm into the kind of deeper into the color mixes and adding, like I always start dark and work light. I think a lot of painters work that way too. But with this, I try to be with all of my paintings, I try to be very efficient and paint as fast as I can. I want to be conscientious, but I also want to make good use of my time. Since I paint alla prima, I'm trying to do all this in one session, so I do try to work relatively quickly. So with multiple subjects, that becomes even more important. For me, like, time is a factor, but fatigue is a factor too, and that might be true for a lot of people where, if you're trying to knock everything out in a 3-hour painting session, you've got 4 subjects on the page, even if you love painting like I do, and like probably most people who do it do, fatigue is a real thing. Like, your arm gets tired, your brain might get tired, that might set in. So trying to work efficiently is important. And what I mean by that is, like, blending up color mixes on your palette, applying those color mixes everywhere in the piece that you see. So, like, just as an example, you're blending up a yellow ochre with some cadmium red, a little titanium white, maybe dampening down the brightness of it with maybe some umber as well, like trying to get a right blend. You get the blend, find everywhere in the piece that this applies to. Or if it's like a darker thing, a dark umber mixed with a little blue or something, find everywhere that darkness exists, everywhere on all 4 subjects. If there's spots in the background, if there's spots on the wall or the little ledge that they're sitting on, like, go find it and piece it in everywhere. It's efficiency. And you just keep doing that, keep blending out. Again, I work dark to light, so I'll start with darker blends and pop that in everywhere. It also helps with brush cleaning too. That's, again, another thing that weighs into the time factor. It's not just blending the colors, but it's also cleaning up your brushes and having them ready for whatever the next color is that you're going to use. So, if you have, like, you're using 3 primary brushes of a certain size, you've got darks and middles and lights maybe on each brush. So you're finding those spots you have to clean a little less. So it's that kind of efficiency that I feel like is really important with these multi-subject pieces. Interestingly, I think 4 subjects might be the most I've ever done in a painting. I'm trying to think when I've done more. I do think it would be really interesting to do a big crowd painting. Like, maybe have 4 or 5 subjects in the foreground like this, but have some more in the background. Have some, like, a crowd, like a dense city scene. It might take more time, and that might be one that ends up being multiple sessions, but I think it would be pretty interesting. So those are my thoughts on that. Painting crowds, bit of a unique challenge, I guess. So Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to pop them in. Otherwise, see you for the next one, I hope. Thanks.